Talk about rerun Kamala's.
You had it right. You almost got it.
I will say Kamala's name any way that I want to.
No, but you mispronounced her and you also misjudged her.
I just did, and I'll do it again.
Mispronouncing her name.
That's a refusal to acknowledge her humanity.
If I purposely mispronounced your name, that would not be appropriate.
Policies are Joe Biden's policies. She owns it.
You're normalizing that kind of viciousness, man.
33 times.
She was
the vice on Joe Biden's bill. She was 33 times the deciding vote on Joe Biden's bills in the Senate.
Let me just say this, because this Congresswoman is a wonderful human being, but when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
So now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a racist.
That is complete.
You don't have to intend racism to accomplish
you are intending that I am
your disrespect of Kamala Harris is part and parcel of a tradition of disrespect.
Why can't you just, Congresswoman? Why can't you just?
I'm not calling you a racist. I'm telling you what the practice is racist.
You absolutely are.
Let me get no, what's disgusting is your disrespect of her.
Professor.
This gentleman said, I didn't know her name. He's trying to do it.
Is her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is. And if 25 years ago,
white women don't have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is to tell them they're not real women.
25 years ago,
care for your babies
25 years ago, I became the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the military college of South Carolina. I fought my way through it.
So pronounce her name right.
Let me actually
pronounce her name right.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
You said this. We don't call you Nancy Mase.
It's Kamala. You're doing this on purpose, Congresswoman.
That's disrespectful.
You can't expect people to respect your service if you don't respect
and walked that stage 25 years ago, she would have said it. She would have taken that achievement away from women. That's disgusting.
Chair recognizes the gentlelady from South Carolina, Ms. Mase.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My colleagues across the aisle said that those that cannot pronounce Kamala's name correctly are elementary-aged children. I would like to enter into the record an article by Newsweek saying Bill Clinton pronounces Kamala Harris' name wrong during DNC speech. Bill Clinton, along with Al Sharpton, rapper Lil Jon. Let's not forget that Joe Biden can't say her name right. Neither can Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. And this morning on Morning Joe, Joan Baez called her a camel. So I don't want to hear it. It's fake outrage. I would like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Eric Dyson, after my CNN interview, begged me for photos. In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together, and sent me a kissy emoji.
Without objection.
Then the guy says I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you got to hold it to both sides, not just one or the other.
Welcome back to Breakdown Friday. Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Jones. We are here breaking down this situation with Michael Eric Dyson and Nancy Mase, which started off as a political spat that spilled over into Nancy Mase basically saying that she's going to say Kamala Harris's name any way she wants to say it. And then that led to Nancy Mase going into what that was the congressional floor or whatever they were, and spilling the beans of Michael Eric Dyson, sending her a text, basically saying she's beautiful and that they look good together, kiss emojis, flirting with her, and he's married. And so it's just interesting that all of this happened. One thing I do want to point out is, that's what happened when, you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar messing with the people you ain't supposed to be messing with, my brother, because he's supposed to be all in favor of black women. He's the lyrical genius, the linguistic legend, the soliloquy sultan, whatever you want to be called, because you know how he used the words, but he's constantly talking about how he reveres black women. And then he get caught with his hand in the cookie jar flirting with the white lady, and he's married after basically calling her racist in the CNN spat. So, PC, are you with me?
Yeah, it's some cold.
Hey, man, what are your thoughts, my brother, on this whole situation that's going on?
I think it's exactly what you just said. A lot of these guys are. I don't understand. When they get around white women, I guess because they feel like they don't really have access to certain types of women, they pander. And I've seen this around not just white women, but white people, period.
Not to cut you off, but you spoke about this last week about when we're having black spaces and we invite white people in those black spaces, how our tone and our rhetoric change and our intentions change.
Yeah. And then, for him to actually get next to her, I wonder what perfume she was wearing. Whatever the aroma was, it must have been intoxicating. For him to respond in this manner, dude, this is a character issue. And this is what I talk about with people who speak for us, or they allegedly speak for us, because, I'm my own man, but people who claim to speak for us and claim to be out here marching and talking that, you can't pick and choose when you want to be a black nationalist. You either are or you're not. Now, like I said, this is a character issue because the man is married. And one of the things that if his wife would have done that, that would be considered emotional cheating.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so for him to move that way, especially after he admonished black men for not supporting Ketanji Brown Jackson, is it?
Well, yeah. He admonishes black men for all the blue pill stuff that's out there.
Right. So
him and Boyce Watkins.
For him to come at us for all those different things and talk about how we should be ashamed of ourselves for not supporting a black woman because she has a white husband. Well, hey, maybe that's what he was just trying to do. Maybe he's just trying to reach across out, pull her a little closer, and take a nice tighter pick. But the worst part about that is forget the pick, forget the pandering. It was when they were actually sitting around the table on the panel. And not just him, but the other brother in there. My God, I am so sick and tired of black intellectuals trying to talk nasally, trying to talk in a
manner. What do you mean?
Threatening, screaming, and shouting, and being passionate, thinking that they're being passionate about something. Dude, y'all sound like cackling Mitches out there. Twitches is what I would like to say. Because I know people named Mitch and I'm cool with them. But, so I don't want to disrespect that. But y'all like a bunch of Twitches out there talking like, whining about the fact of the pronunciation of her name. That's not important. That's not important. What's important is the policies that Congresswoman Nancy Mase was bringing up in regard to her record. And see, this is a nice way to deflect. And I realize a lot of our community loves to deflect to get to that emotional argument. This is one of the biggest reasons why I say the black church, the formation and creation of the black church has been one of the most damaging things to the culture of black people, because we have gotten accustomed to getting that emotional rise that people get every Sunday and feeling as though just because you feel that your spirit is risen by the emotions, by the being able for someone to be able to tug on your emotional heartstrings, that just because you scream and shout something, that there's legitimacy to it. And it's the whole thing where we used to call it sounding. Like, I sounded you. If I can talk over you and intimidate you to not talk anymore. And the fact that it didn't work even made them look even more futile in their attempt to wrestle the argument or make a contention for Kamala, whatever the hell, however the hell they want to say her name.
It's Kamala.
So
I'll say her name however I want.
And which made it worse because
I would come back to that though.
I just rested here. The funniest part about all of that is that he probably in his wildest dreams did not imagine her screenshotting that during a and displaying that. putting him on Front Street to the point where he had a babbling, splaining session the next day, trying to explain how he loves black women and trying to undo the wrong that he had done by pressing the send button on his phone for that picture. Oh, he was in it, boy. Them blue eyes and them perky Turks must have did something to him nice. And I him up.
Yeah, he trying to put the eel in the cave and got caught. Hey,
he just wanted to stick the tip in. I know I should.
Hey, he did. Hey, Pat, man, you seen the spat between Nancy Mase, Michael Eric Dyson, the black dude that looked like an NBA coach, and everybody else around there. You seen that? You seen Nancy Mase expose the text messages in the congressional hall. What are your thoughts?
Oh, quick. I'm sorry, Pat. I don't want to interrupt. I do want to say one thing. I was the first person on social media to catch that live Senate hearing. Congressional hearing, and post about it on Facebook. I just want to say that. All right, I'm done.
There you go.
So follow PC's Facebook. Well, if you can.
He'll get you right.
He might be maxed out.
I'm finna go look.
But you can follow. Actually, they still do that on Facebook. I'm showing my ignorance to social media.
Yeah, you probably can.
Yeah.
But yeah, go follow PC on social media to stay up to date on all the juicy goosey.
Oh, the hood news.
I didn't. It's funny. I noticed a few things. First thing I noticed was the pseudo masculine being presented. Well, and to me, it was interestingly a facade because he didn't even look the woman in the eye. He didn't look at the woman at all. He was arguing at the table or the desk or whatever that was in front of he was like refusing to look at her. So I at least give the assistant NBA coach, as Joe put it, I at least give that brother points for like he was looking at her as he was trying to address her.
See, Michael was doing that so his shoulder pads look bigger.
I just found it interesting. It's like, bro, you're doing all that huffing and puffing, and she looking at the side of your face. like she's looking at you, and you're looking down. And it just reminded me of old slave narratives. Like, look, boss, look, master, I sure don't want to tell you what to do, but I just don't think it's a good idea for you to go around yonder over there and do that. Like that's how it like came off to me. And then the fact that, look, once the woman says, I can say her name however I want to say her name. All right, that's it. Like you can feel how you want to feel about it.
Yeah. The white girl don't care.
Once somebody doubles down like that and says, I don't care, I'm gonna say it how I want. All right, there's no point in continuing to try and address that.
She's trolling on purpose.
Yeah, at this point, any further engagement in that specific area is foolishness on your part. And beyond that, you wouldn't have even had to address that if you could have shut down her points.
Right.
Like PC said. Like if you could have just been like, well, Kamala doesn't take these stances. Kamala takes this stance. Kamala has this policy. Kamala has a history of doing this. None of that. You're trying to. So that's that. The fact that she called him out on it. Look, black people have been frustrating me a lot over the last few months. One, because you know how much I dislike white women in terms of like the cultural group that they exist in, right? I feel like white women are the most dangerous group of people on the planet. I truly do. Especially for me as a black man. Like I would pick the bear. Right? So now I'm having to look at what's going on with Caitlin Clark and be like, yo, we like that's one thing, right? It bothers me because I shouldn't be feeling like that about no white woman. But then now I'm looking at this white woman and I'm like, she got his ass though.
She did.
like I don't like it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. You know,
but it's him. It's him though. That's what I thought about. I like she got him, but it's MC Michael Eric. So
yeah, and that's what I'm saying, right? Like it's like for all you women out there, right? Imagine seeing a video of Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels, and they saying a bunch of stuff that you can't argue and that you might even agree with. Like that's what I'm going through right now. It don't feel good. It don't feel good at all.
Yeah. I'm not, but I feel a little bit considering who it was.
But hey, but see, that's why I'm gonna spin it. But me being who I am, you know, logic over feelings, I'm like, but you know what? She got him though. So, and it's him. Like, so you get a pass, like she get a little bit of a pass because it's him. Michael Eric Dyson ain't fooling.
Word salad.
If look,
they invented that term for him.
You know what's
that
gonna be
man.
He's gonna be sitting on the couch with his wife, like what's do Derek Jackson, and he's gonna have to explain.
Hey,
I was in the comment. One of the things said Michael Derek Jackson.
Yeah. Paintbutt said that. I think
Michael Derek. Look, Mike.
Oh,
Mike.
My bad, Pat. But shout out to Paintbutt though, because that's why I first seen this. PC put the world on this, but Paintbutt. That's why I got this from. So I do want to give her piece.
I understand.
So Michael, that was a resigned. You heard the emotion in that. I understand.
Don't be like that. Hey, it just
okay.
Well, you was first, though. Forget all that.
You mispronounced.
I think Michael Eric Dyson. Look, if you ever come across this video for whatever reason,
hey,
I'm not calling you stupid because I think Michael Eric Dyson is a highly intelligent man.
You just be saying a lot of stuff that don't matter. And you ain't got to use all them big words to get your point across. And you can just talk to people regularly. My bad, Pat.
This is it, right? The audience that you're speaking to and for, and I think it's a larger group of black people actually. They not vibing with you the way you think they are. And so you might want to reconsider delivery and approach. And that's all I'm gonna say. But that white girl got your ass though.
See, Pat, the big head, like the one that rests on his shoulders, is smart. The other we sometimes takes control.
It took full control that day.
Hey, so as PC said, you know, you wonder what is he saying to the world? What is his response or his explanation for this? And he actually went on The View and gave one. If y'all didn't know, he went on The View. So let's listen to what he talked about.
Well, Doctor, let's get right into it. I feel like I'm used to seeing you on TV, but great to see you in person.
Good to see you too.
But let's address this recent exchange you had with Congresswoman Nancy Mase when you were debating, or you're clashing over her repeated mispronunciation of the vice president's name.
Right.
I think we have the clip.
Kamala's.
You had it right. You almost got it.
I will say Kamala's name any way that I want to.
When you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't
racist. That is complete.
You don't have to.
Kamala Harris. If
Kamala.
I
You said it. We don't call you Nancy Mase.
So because we live in the crazy year of 2024, she then later accused you of sending her flirty texts, which she entered into the congressional record. Can you clear this up for us, Professor?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, it's great to be here with you wonderful women.
Yes.
The thing is that, let's look at a little background.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a preacher. So I know sin, my own and others, right? Nobody's perfect. I saw Whoopi yesterday talk about the fact in regard to Janet Jackson, people make mistakes, and we have to acknowledge that. Number two, as a professor, I've seen things evolve over space and time. What you could say 20 years ago, can't say today.
No.
Not because you're suddenly wrong, but the temper of the times has changed.
Right.
So if you acknowledge a woman's beauty, that is a power imbalance, there's a problem there. But peer to peer, a different story. Still cautious, but different. And then thirdly, let's look at the politics. We're living in a toxic culture where there's a cancel culture gotcha. We're not trying to elevate, we're trying to eviscerate. So when it comes to Nancy Mase, you see, I tried to be nice to the woman. I said, you're a wonderful woman. I lied. I then said, but I tried to be nice to her. And then even when I pointed out to her what the repetition of the misnaming of Kamala Harris would do, she got defensive. Oh, you're calling me a racist. No.
And you never did. I
never did.
Yeah.
I think Shakespeare said the lady doth protest too much. Or in the hood, we say a hit dog will holler. So the point is that this woman has now depended upon, like her inspiration, Donald Trump, a racist trope. The black brute seeks the innocent white woman, now I'm seeking lasciviously to approach her. I didn't call her names. I acknowledge her humanity. And I'll say one final thing to all of these white Christians, and she's one of them. The Bible says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn their face to God and turn away from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and then I will forgive their sins and I will heal the land. They have not forgiven themselves. White Christians hate themselves for the past wrongs that have been done. And I'm here as a loving Christian to say, let's grapple with that past, acknowledge the historic legacy of supremacy. Don't deny it. Don't erase it. Don't eviscerate it. Don't remove it from the history books. Confront it. And then when you forgive yourselves, we can go forward. I am a human being. Have I made mistakes? Absolutely. Have I said the wrong thing to people that I wish I could take back? Absolutely. But I am a child of God. And that means I don't have to be perfect to be useful, and I don't have to be unflawed to shine brightly.
All right.
Okay, so basically what he said and what we learned is, one, all people have sin and nobody's perfect. Two, things have changed in society as far as men giving women compliments, especially if there's a power imbalance within a cancel culture. When you supposed to be explaining yourself for some stuff you did that you weren't supposed to be doing, be funny, hit on racist tropes, make sure you tell them that racism still exists. And last, but certainly not least, and the most important, is take them to church. Hallelujah. That's what I got. That's what I got out of his quote unquote apology.
First,
hallelujah. I'm a child of God.
Let's address the in the hood. Michael, sorry. In what hood?
Hit dog. What he's talking about? Hit dog holler shit.
Yeah, in the hood. Like it is something that's said amongst black people, yes, and white people, yes, and people. What bothers me most is, we talked about this before with the other lady, the lady, I forget her name, national prominence lady, was talking about in the hood.
Oh, Michaela.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, and not even her. It was another lady. Was talking about, I'm from New York. I'm from New York. I know about guns and violence.
Oh, damn.
Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Oh, Amanda Seals.
Yeah. And not just her, the other lady. You get what I'm going? We could keep doing this all day. What see now we get to school Michael Eric Dyson. Because what you're doing, good brother, is you're using the imagery that is commonly associated with blacks in dire straits in the lower economic social status of America to gain credibility to your argument as a black person, as you call out racism, stating that you've come from the lower rungs of society where all black people who have credibility must ascend from. You see what I'm saying? You're making the argument that I can relate to the people from the hood. That lends credibility to my blackness. And because now I have credibility in my blackness by relating to people in the hood, I can call out this white woman in white America using my black credibility. But I have to use the black credibility acquired from reaching to the hood for a connection, because that's the only blackness that white people will recognize. Why do we have to commonly refer to our blackness and when we're speaking in a national light or in a national segment? Why do we have to commonly make attribution to hood status or ghetto status or violent status or any of these other prisons? Why do we do that?
Oh, I got to answer for that. If you want to answer for that, and been saying it, and we've been having conversations about this off the air for a long time, but I'm saying it on the air. That's because most of these Negroes see us through the same lens as the white supremacists they worship. They just believe that they're the exception. So I got to bring it down to the hood for my people to understand, because evidently these are the same that, you know, what the white man has created. And I just happen to be, you know, I just happen to rise above them in status. And so I can speak to, but because I'm of them, I can speak to them in their own lingo and language and break it down so a child can understand. Excuse me, no, break it down so I understand. So that comes from, unfortunately. And it's a lot of black people who have lost touch. Some have never had really touch with who we are as a community, because then you'd understand that we understand damn near everything you say to us. And the fact that we get offended when we feel like you have to dumb it down. And then you create, because you operate from the perspective of being one of the, in the leadership class of the black community, there is this trepidation that arises in how you respond to us and treat us in regards to, you know, the way you communicate. So he knew when he said, well, let me break it down to the hood. Basically, he's speaking to people who operate on that lower frequency. And we've talked about that before when we I have identified that there's a certain expectation and standard to being the nigga. And so he's speaking to all this because, you know what I'm saying? But that's not the quotient of black people, and especially the ones that are watching The View. So
but perfect. And in the comments, if y'all like, leave your answer to why. But I'm curious, right? Because it goes back to what we said before. The people that you think are your audience, they not your audience. Yeah. They don't really like you like that. Yeah. And then to get directly to what Joe, I think, wanted us to touch on was the foolishness of the defense.
Well, yes. But before that, to hit on what you all are saying, but also remember that he's also getting at the overall idea and the mindset and this new blackness that's supposed to be hood, because to be black is to be hood. So let me break it down to the hood. Basically, let me take y'all to where black people exist, where black people reside. Let me expose my blackness. Let me show you blackness. Hit dogs, don't holler. That's what I was thinking about as you were saying what you were saying about him giving your explanation, because blackness is now synonymous with hood. But go ahead.
No, go ahead, Joe. You go.
Yeah, but that was it on that.
Well, I think to your other point, I'm sorry, PC. I'm real quick.
No.
The foolishness of the response. You didn't address anything,
right?
And in your calling her petty and trying to have gotcha moments and accusing her of trying to have a gotcha moment, which is a subtle acceptance to the fact that she got your ass. There was this moment of yours where you said, I was trying to, because I was saying, you heard me say she's a wonderful woman, which she isn't. Okay. Didn't you just do what you just accused her of trying to do to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was basically him using like he was doing in the original clip. What set the argument and set everything ablaze is when he is bested, he uses racism. And this is a white woman, so let me use racism, right? And so in that, she's saying Nancy Mase, look, if we ain't gonna hold no punches with you either. You know what the hell you was doing. All right. You was being a troll, you was being a child, you was calling her, you was saying her name wrong on purpose. You could say Mike Krzyzewski. So I know you could say Kamala Harris. We know that, like with the white folk that you be around, they got some names. So if you can say them names, I know you can say her name. So you was being a child in that. Let's just call it what it is. You were being a white girl and doing what white girls do because you understand your place, right? Well, and you was around Michael Eric Dyson and the NBA coach and another black lady and another white dude. So
was that really a coach? I don't know.
Nah, he just looked like an NBA coach to me.
All right. So I'm gonna take it back a little bit because what Michael Eric Dyson did in that View spot was, hey, y'all remember the movie that DMX was in with Jet Li and Aaliyah? You Almost Die. Remember when DMX went to the car dealership and the brother was like, "I got this," and he walked over talking jive to DMX and the white boy, but the brother wouldn't let DMX ride the car, right? He wouldn't let him test out the car, but the white boy was the other salesman, gave him the keys, and it was one of those things where let me talk to my people, and then you talk down or you start talking to the black people in a way where it's just the assumption of ignorance, the assumption of primitive response, the primitive communication in regards to how he was trying to speak. So I was going to drop that in a little bit back, but I know the conversation moved. But one of the things that I want to touch on, a few things that I wrote down, because golly gee, what a spin. I know you got to write it down, Joe. My bad.
You at your limit.
Hey, I'm done. What a spin. He started off talking about what happened and spun it to being a child of God. What I'm saying? People aren't perfect and this, that, and that. Man, did you have a crown of thorns? Like, did they hoist you up on the cross and let you stay there for 3 days? I don't know.
PC, man, let that man be crucified in his own words, man, in his word salad, because, hey, he is not above sin and nobody's perfect. And he a Christian and, and
all that BS that come with it. So he's a Christian when he felt like being a Christian, but he's sending kissing emojis to a woman as a married man. Okay. So he's sinning all over the place. He's really showing his imperfections out there. Now let's talk about, and he's talking about like this power imbalance. Well, which one had the power? Because as far as I've known in society, women have gotten all black towns destroyed by making accusations about black men and their sexual prowess, which is one of the things Patrick was really alluding to earlier when he was talking about how dangerous white women are. So, and we've seen it, black man getting caught in the bed with a white woman, whether it's antebellum, whether it's post that, Jim Crow right now. Once it happens, she can say, "Oh my God, he broke in here, and he essayed me. He graped me." And the next thing you know, he's outside hanging out by a tree, and everybody's saying he took part in self-deletion. That's still happening. So that's just wild to me. Now I'm gonna tell you what the real thing was with this whole conversation about Nancy Mase and why they even brought her up there and why she was acting the way she was acting. Because I don't think it was necessarily childish. I think it was a ploy. And I think it was to let everybody know that white women aren't buying this. White women are not buying Kamala Harris. They're not buying it. And even though she's on the other side of the aisle, she represents a great majority of white women who have already voiced their displeasure about Kamala in regards to her lack of policies or a lack of ability to articulate, how every time somebody asks her a question, she has to say she's a single mother and a middle-class community. She didn't say it in Canada, but okay, middle-class community in Canada. And she keeps going into this whole diatribe without answering the damn question. And smart people can, pick up on it, and smart people get insulted by that. That's why, by the way, the reason why Hillary Clinton didn't get as much as a black vote. It wasn't because anybody hated Hillary Clinton. She was not a likable person, but you're not going to get my vote with doing the Watusi with Roland Martin, or showing off hot sauce in your purse. Like, that's another way of you insulting our intelligence. And then for the Democratic Party to, at the national convention they had here in Philadelphia, for the convention they had here in 2016, where she was specifically told the same thing Kamala Harris said: don't address any black issues specifically. Didn't Kamala Harris say she's not going to do anything specifically for black people? Although she's named several other groups and she's been a part of congressional votes that have put benefits and billions of dollars to the infrastructures of other communities in this country. So white women aren't buying it. White women didn't even buy it when a white woman was running, or a white woman with better credentials and who was more prepared to take on the leadership of this country. They weren't buying it then, they're not buying it now. And unfortunately, if people, and the people who are out here pushing this, which is shameful, by the way, and it's kind of sad. It's really sad to see how low people will go to jump on board on the bandwagon with something like this, with nothing structurally promised, nothing structurally shown, and nothing structurally put in place to let us know that we'll be in good hands with this person. I don't need a bumper sticker saying that my president is a black woman, and then none of that being true, for one. I don't need that. I need to know somebody's in there who is prioritizing me and my community. And I don't see that with a person that specifically said the first time she was running for president, she's not going to do anything specifically for the black community. Maybe that's why she only got less than 3% the first time she was running as a Democrat in 2020.
See, Pat, we knew he supported the right. That's why he got a red shirt on. He support the right, dog. He only make, you on mute, but he only make right hand turns. He right-handed. He throw right-handed. Come on.
And you notice he keep talking about history because he prefers to be back in those times. He got on rose-colored glasses right now.
I'm just saying,
rose-tinted shades.
I'm just saying, he think he fly like the Wright brothers. I'm just saying, dog.
Did you say he was writing with his right hand?
Yeah. We beat y'all to it. He support the right. Yeah, we beat you to it.
Oh yeah. Project 2025. I'm riding the front seat, baby.
Yeah. But it's, for me, one of the biggest things I'm looking at for this is the leadership angle, and not only that, but the followership angle, because he touts himself as somebody who is an upstanding black man, a black leader, somebody that we should follow, a distinguished gentleman, with high morals. Like both of you have mentioned morals already, and so that's one of my main points about this is, a man with high morals isn't sending text messages to somebody that you are that the appearance is that's your opponent or your foe, but behind the scenes you're like, well, is it not okay for me to tell her that she's beautiful? Well, no, not in the manner in what you did. No, you can't send her a picture of you all together, kissing emojis, talking about we look good together, and then other stuff talking about she a fine woman, she fine looking woman. And then, that's a part of the explanation that you give for doing what you're doing is, well, times have changed, so you can't really compliment a woman like you used to. I don't care if it was 1875. You married. What are you doing? And you tout yourself as an upstanding leader in the black community. What are you talking about?
And that's the issue, right? Like, and with this, like, the reason I'm going harder at Michael Eric Dyson than the white girl is because the white girl is a white girl and she did what white girls do. Like, she behaved the way we should expect white people to behave, and we got to get beyond being mad at people for being who they are expected to be.
Like you said earlier, she said, I'm going to say her name any way I want to. When she said that, I was like, okay, this white girl came to ruffle y'all feathers.
Right. So he should not. My thing with him, in my opinion, he's done almost everything wrong.
Almost.
Like, well, I mean, it looked like his lineup is straight, so he did that right. So you can't say he did everything wrong. He did something right. His suit looks like it matches and it fits him. So, you know, but because even with the whole thing of, you know, as a white woman, you can't talk to a black woman about being a woman.
Why?
Oh, right. Why not?
Well, but see, his response, him saying that in response to me was idiotic because Nancy Mase was bringing up the fact that the left have gotten to the point where they refuse to define what a woman is, like something simple as that. You can't define what a woman is. And then he comes back with saying, well, no. So you as a white woman you are trying to define what a woman is. Well, what about the legacy of black women? That's not what she's talking about. You're trying to flip because my bad. There are black women. There are black women who are a part of this movement in abundance who refuse or act like they don't know what a woman is as well. Like I first heard this through black women. What are you talking about? It's not just a white woman thing.
Well, her statement that she said that initially set all of this up was when she said she doesn't know what a woman is.
Right.
Which was in regards to her policies on transgenderism.
Right.
So for him to respond as a white woman, you can't talk to a black woman about womanhood. Okay, how is that an appropriate answer to the issue she's bringing? So even to that, and then it asserts that, okay, so as a white woman, can she talk to black men about women? Like, I don't.
What about the Indian woman?
Right, it opens up all of these other little discussion pockets. But then on top of that, for him to not even acknowledge as a pastor, he called himself a pastor. If I was at his church, I would not be there.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have been there in the first place.
Definitely not now. But
the consequential, elemental, cerebral manifestations.
Pastors be jumping out the windows. So
he talked too much too. So.
But the thing is, this man embarrassed his wife, and himself, and got exposed for it in the national spotlight, global media, and then did not apologize, address the issue, or solidify or restate his commitment to his wife. He didn't address none of it. He basically said, well, everybody make mistakes.
Right.
No, I've never made that mistake before. I've never done that.
Yeah, I sent a flirty text message to a white girl, but I mean, you know, people do stuff like that. So you know.
So the power differential is irrelevant because she didn't accuse you of sexually assaulting her or anything like that. So even in that, you're trying to set the stage a different way. She said she posted everything because she was making a point that you were not overly concerned about her comments towards Kamala Harris because you was trying to get in her inbox.
Yeah.
That's the issue. It had nothing to do with sexual perversions or assault or power imbalance and nothing like that. So the fact that he refuses to double down to take accountability for it, and the fact that he's on some whole trying to paint it in a different light and all this other stuff. Like, come on, as a man, you shouldn't be following the man with this type of character. And as a woman, especially a black woman, you should. Why would you give this dude a pass?
Well, no matter what, and not taking away a person's humanity, but as a man of the cloth, as a pastor, preacher, whatever he calls himself, right? The moral standard is higher, whether you want it to be or not. That's what you walked into. Like certain realms and certain positions and certain things that you accept and that you take and that you go after, it comes with higher moral standards and higher moral grounds and other things. So yes, we expect the preacher to have a higher moral standard than the garbage man. Now, if both are married, we expect both of them to have a moral standard. But yes, we expect the preacher man, the leader, to have a higher moral standard. We expect more out of you. We expect you to be able to conduct yourself in a better manner. But obviously, he can't.
We also got to recognize too that this right here is one of the reasons why I don't really respect when sisters come at us, you know, when we have critique of black women and call us a narcissist. Meanwhile, allowing a black man who claims to be speaking for sisters do some narcissistic stuff like he's doing to his wife right now, with coming out not even apologizing to her. And let me just read what he said to her in this text message exchange. Shh. Don't tell anybody. We look good together. Laughing, and then a kissing emoji, a kissing heart emoji. She responds, ha, 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 ha. He responds, well, your gorgeousness makes the photos. So there's that, with a smiley, blushing smiley face emoji. So this wasn't no damn mistake. You felt you shot your shot. She didn't reject you, and then you took another shot. So but he's allowed to just go in this direction because, you know, people want allegiance with people they feel as though they can use later on to weaponize against brothers. And so, go ahead. I'm sorry, Joe.
The women on The View are slow.
They're not slow.
They ate that. I'm gonna say it. Look, I know, I know, but you know me, I got to say it. I like to say it. They ate it all up. What he was saying, they ate it all up. He took them to church and they ate it up.
Well, they've invested in his, you know, betrayal of black men. So now what do you want to do? Turn on your investment? You know, that's what this is really about. And see, this partnership that feminists have with black men who do simping type stuff, you know what I mean? Every once in a while, when they cross the line, they smack them on their hands and send them back to finish doing the dirty work.
These the type of black men Dr. Wilson was talking about. The black men who got their gonad snatched away from her and do their bidding for the system. Michael Eric Dyson is a Democratic shield.
Yeah, well, he's but not only that, he's anti-black man misandrist. And so because of that, you know, given a pass for being a narcissist every once in a while because he thought he was in good. And we found out he wasn't. And not only did he find out he wasn't, the white woman didn't even take it a step further and say he was sexually harassing her.
Right. She just said he was flirting.
She just said he didn't have a problem with her because he was able to take that picture. He begged to take that picture. And in addition to begging to take that picture and getting close to her, he then followed up by jumping in her DMs. So how much could he really have been about Kamala Kumala if he did that
after that interview?
After the interview. This was after everything was said and done.
So we see.
But because I gotta say this. She's not a beautiful woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not taking a shot at her. She's not an ugly woman, but she is gorgeous. Her gorgeousness does not make the picture.
For him to go on The View and then to say, like, you know, basically he don't like her no more. We see why, because you got exposed. Be better, do better.
That's possible.
But I mean, but you didn't expect the white woman to expose you, bro. So you are the distinguished professor, right? You're the world's leading expert on, you know, blackness and talking black and the black rhetoric, and you're supposed to know what you know. You're supposed to be educated and all equipped. And so you, my brother, as distinguished as you are, did not know that the white woman would put you on Front Street.
No. See, okay. We talked about this earlier, Joe. The man is a brilliant man when it comes to articulation, in terms to understanding verbiage and ways to use verbiage to capture an audience. The problem is he was too smart for his own good. So yeah, he thought he was smarter than everybody sitting there. Intellectually, he may have been, but he still was not smart enough to calculate how white women truly operate.
So basically, you saying he a scammer.
Not only that, he thought he that too, but in addition to that, he thought, like Charles Barkley and all these other cats, that his status elevates him above basic blackness. And because of that, he doesn't deal with the repercussions or consequences of racism and white supremacy, which is ironic because he just accused her of being a racist. He didn't say it.
He did, but yeah, he insinuated that she was racist. The racist rhetoric. You are continuing the rhetoric of the American diabolical, tyrannical machine of machinery of misogyny and coagulation of the triangulation of the seismographic I don't know. You know, you get what I'm saying.
The way he was cheesing, she must have smelled really good. He was really cheesing. I wonder what perfume she was wearing. I said that when we first started. I ain't seen that man that happy. You see all the pictures you just pulled up. I ain't see him cheesing like that in any of those other pictures.
Hey man, you know.
And to be clear, like people know an insinuation is still an attack on her character. Because even if you're not calling her racist, you're calling her ignorant. Neither one of those are flattering.
Now, so I will say this. I'm not mad at him for saying that, but we're not gonna act like he didn't say that because he got bested, right?
Well, no, and that's my whole thing about his whole approach. He didn't directly confront the problem, not even physically. Yeah. Like I said, he was looking down and facing away from her. He never squared up his shoulder, gave her his center mass, and looked right at her and told her that he could have even taken the soft approach intonation if he had presented a strong approach physically. He could have turned, looked squarely at her and said, I'm not saying you're a racist, but what you're saying right now is in alignment with racist rhetoric.
Right, because white people have been messing black people's name up forever.
Right, that would have been stronger than what he did.
Well, what do you think would have happened if he would have turned around, literally 2 inches from her face, and gazed into those baby blue eyes?
I mean, he would have melted. He would have got wet and melted.
He would have forgot what the hell he was talking about.
I'll say.
So you saying he was defending himself by not looking at her? Okay,
exactly.
But going back to what Pat said earlier,
staring into the sun,
or just be able to defend her points. But the problem with that is you can't defend her points because if you watch the whole clip of that exchange, I believe the black lady was saying it at the time, or somebody, or even I think the white guy on the panel at the time, Kamala still didn't have policies on the website. So you can't defend it.
Yeah. And the policy she put on it, what is it? The opportunity economy. I think I glanced at it once just to see if it was up there because they were still asking for money when the last time I checked.
But black people got to learn how to stop looking stupid in public because you can't shut up or just say you don't know.
Hey man, like I said, funny thing is the lack of preparedness that everybody's going to in these conversations. Now you going in there, and this is what I mean too, right? About when black people who become celebrities, and Michael Eric Dyson should not have fallen for this. But when this is not what you do, when you choose to get, because you're in the public spotlight, you may be a comedian, you may be a singer, you may be an actor, an actress, or whatever, you might be an athlete. Whenever you jump into these conversations with people who do this for a living, people who have gone to the most acclaimed, most accredited schools in this particular area, and people who understand the lineage and the prestige of the conversation, the topic of it all. When you are not prepared to go, they eat you alive no matter how much information you got. And then when you go into it and you don't have the information, and you don't have the background, this is why they tear you to shreds, because you're not prepared, and then you become an embarrassment to the community that you supposedly represent. This is why Malcolm said we don't send entertainers to do our bidding in terms of policy or dealing with politics, because this is not what you do. This is not what you do. It's a hobby.
Well, you can't tell him. You can't tell him this is not what he do with all them words he got.
But that's what I'm saying. he should have been the exception to this.
Not flashcards.
But even then, even then, he wasn't the exception to this, because for so long he's been able to talk himself out of everything else. And because she actually addressed things that they weren't prepared. Like, first of all, they probably shouldn't have never had the conversation, because they're not prepared to. They should have done what Kamala's done and avoid all tough conversations, cross table conversations and interviews.
Right.
She doesn't have a leg to stand on, so anybody defending her doesn't have a leg.
You sound stupid.
You know, but people can't turn away from the camera.
Hey, man. But yeah. Then you out here looking crazy like Michael Eric Dyson, but you know, hey,
listen, you know, bro, you took an L. Hold it.
He did.
You took a big L. Matter of fact, you took an L and then you doubled down and said, "Give me another one."
Yeah, I am not sorry for what I did. I have no remorse for what I did. I mean, I did it. You know, she'll basically, hey man, she a good looking white girl. And, you know, I shot my shot. And you know, hey man, I mean, you know, some people do stuff like that sometimes. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get caught, sometimes you don't. But you know, I'm a child of God. And because I'm a child of God and racism exists, then y'all don't really have to hold me accountable. And look at the shoulder pads in my jacket.
He literally saw an opportunity to crash out, and he was willing to risk it all.
And the women on The View just ate it up. Oh my goodness, you talked about God. Hold up, you said God. Hold up, y'all. He said God.
Yeah,
whatever. Know, that's groupthink at work. I don't think none of them women could even tell you what he said, and I mean every woman in there. I don't think none of them could repeat a single thing he said outside of "he's a child of God" and all fall short.
Who's the cast of The View? Let me see.
I know exactly who the cast of The View is. That's right.
That's Whoopi. That's Whoopi now. Whoopi and Joy Bell. And
I'm almost positive none of them knew that. Like, and then because none of the people on The View, none of the hosts of the show actually stood up and said, "But you didn't address what happened at all."
Right.
The audience ain't gonna do it either, because they all just looking to follow the host.
They got rid of the one woman that would have, and that was that what was that girl, Hasselback, the quarterback's wife. She would have. She would. I never cared for that woman because I thought she was a Twitch, but but she would have, and they got rid of her just because they couldn't have one of these seamless conversations and transitions, because she would hold it up every single time. So they understand now how to get in line with the party line and so forth, and that's why there's no real pushback unless it's an issue that violates so-called democratic policies or
hold on, Susan,
ideologies. Then that's when they start, pounding their fist and stepping on the table, and then Whoopi becomes the mother of the panel and this, that, and the other. So, and all respect to Whoopi Goldberg. I loved all her movies in the past, and she was a great.
Yeah. No shade to Whoopi.
No shade, but at the end of the day,
is what it is.
Shade for me. I'm getting shade to the whole crew. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, it's not that platform is not going to challenge. It's tailor-made for a person.
Right.
Come up there and do that. And Dr. Dyson, Dr. Michael Derek Tyson Dyson.
Dr. Michael Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson, yeah. I probably wouldn't be so hard, on this particular topic and so forth. Yeah, I know what he's talking about before the show. I probably wouldn't be so hell-bent on this if it wasn't the fact that you posture a lot towards brothers who are just standing their ground sometimes and just want to be respected as men. So now you are in the same seat that you put us, and instead of owning it and being accountable for being a jackass and going out there and humiliating your wife, because I promise you, every conversation she has with her family and friends is going to be is going to be mired in dealing with the humiliation that you did to this black woman.
He running behind that white girl.
Yeah. To this black woman.
He got this beautiful Nubian queen. Like, he like to talk about the queens and all that stuff. And he running behind.
I just find it ironic because this is a man who had heavy critique for Kevin Samuels, yet you'll never find a picture of Kevin Samuels doing this.
I mean, but look, man, Mike, Michael
And
Eric
it ain't
words.
even like the white girl pulled it out of him, bro. You voluntarily stabbed yourself in the gut. You committed seppuku.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Michael Eric word salad. So, but you know, we can see, because to me, like you're saying, this is not a mistake.
No.
He did not make a mistake. This was a deliberate action to holler at this white lady. Deliberate action to try to see what's up with this white lady. And she exposed him to the world and showed that, you know, he's lacking character and he's lacking the ability to truly be a leader that black people would need. And we already knew that he was a Democratic shield. But now, not only on top of that, like he's a puppet for the left, he's a Democratic shield, but also your character is in question because, and I'll put another thing on the table. You have a black wife, but you're trying to holler at a white lady.
The white woman came on that panel, faced all of them in the eye, and left out with
flawless victory.
Hey. Wow, Michael got to go home, and because if his wife heard what we heard on The View, oh, they've been arguing. Because I wrote it down.
It probably ain't his first time doing this.
Right. But it's the first time he got caught publicly, which is the public shame that, you know, has happened. And, you know, it's just, I mean, that next day when he was in that baseball cap, looked like he was sitting in the quiet room in his house trying to explain this stuff. Yeah, it wasn't a good look, bro. It wasn't a good look. I mean, people to take things out of character and the people to take things out of, man, sit your ass.
I mean, but we have to hold our people to a higher standard. If we are really trying to reverse the conditioning that has happened to us, we have to hold our people to a higher standard. If we're not doing that, what are we talking about? I gotta edit that.
We talking because it's a YouTube channel.
I know. But man, look, that's Michael Eric Dyson and his love affair with Nancy Mase. The book will be coming out soon, and then the movie will come out after that. So y'all will be able to see it on Tubi for the love of Michael.
We look good together.
I had a link available on my website and in the description of my future videos when they come out on Tubi September 3rd. So, I mean, not September 3rd, excuse me, but October 23rd. So y'all be ready for that.
It's gonna come out February 16th.
Yeah, there you go. So Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Jones, FetLifeStation.com. Go ahead, run on over there right now. Not right now, but right now, FetLifeStation.com, thepax.org. Make sure you check us out. See how we doing what we doing as a collective. On the shoulders1.com is the website. You can go support. I'm switching email server accounts, so y'all bear with me with my emails and stuff, but I'm gonna get that back together, get that back up and going. And then we got some more stuff coming on, and I'm gonna keep y'all updated with this Black History School. So love y'all and see y'all next time.